No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey everybody, just thought I'd do a bit of an unscripted video, share some of my thoughts, and talk a little bit about some things that have happened recently. We have, of course, surpassed 20,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I've also had a couple of videos um, get fairly big. The two that got big recently um, was the video on Tyranids. Tyranids don't make sense, and then there's one that's currently kind of getting big, which is the um, Golden Age humans meet the Imperium, and I've seen a couple of comments on both of them. Like most of them, they're fairly positive. I think people understand that these are both jokes. But on the Tyranid video, there were a couple people who were annoyed because it came across as very dismissive of the Tyranids. Some Tyranid fans who didn't appreciate uh, their faction being dissed, I guess. Um, and then the other one was the golden age of technology humans meeting the 40K humans, and that was again a joke. It's basically my excuse to do a Star Trek parody, um, and yeah, that was the extent of it. Was keep the lore kind of correct because we don't know that much about the golden age of humanity other than they had really, 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 really powerful weapons that can kind of do anything at any time, um, and that they were not all that it was a fairly progressive time where human beings interacted with aliens, and I thought that was kind of like the Federation, and very optimistic, and you know, I just thought it fit well enough to make a joke. Um, and I guess the things that people were complaining about were that these two videos were not lore accurate. Now, most people uh, were fairly positive about it, but I think there were two groups of people that I don't think. Uh, I think they interpreted the video differently than I kind of intended them to. Some people posted responses that kind of made it sound like they thought that this was a lore accurate statement, and they're not. It's not really. It's like a little bit, but it's more of a joke. So I basically had some people saying, yeah, haha, Tyranids are in fact lame, and then there were people who were saying things like, yeah, this is the way Golden Age or Dark Age technology humans would have behaved. And it's like, it's a joke. That's it. And then you had people who took what I was saying seriously, or they were like expecting a more serious, like lore video. Um, and I tell stories that are that I do my best in to stay lore accurate, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm being goofy on. Like I don't know, it's kind of like it struck me as a little odd. Like I get feeling like a little misled for some people. They'd be like, it's humans meeting, Golden Age humans meeting Imperium humans, and it is that, but it's a joke. Um, I guess I could have made the title more clear that it was a joke and not like a lore video. But I take this about as seriously as like the Alex Jones and 40K, like that is lore accurate. It's like no, it's just funny. It's just really funny that the things that Alex Jones says sometimes are kind of close to 40K lore accurate, and um, I'm kind of poking fun at um, some of the things about Tyranids, the way they're kind of written, um, and also poking fun at Star Trek and the horrible future of Warhammer 40K. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to tell people that um, believed I was representing some kind of accurate lore, but no, it isn't. This isn't really the way it is, and I can go into very long detail about the way Tyranids work and how they function and how their hive fleet works, and I can do a much less funny breakdown of things that don't make sense about Tyranids. Mostly that they are eating biological things which are fairly low energy. They're not using, as far as we know, they can't consume mechanical or inorganic stuff. That they're getting all of the calories for their fusion weapons and crazy abilities that they have in their fashion life space travel. All of that energy that they get is just coming from eating stuff, and the caloric content you cannot achieve fast and light travel on dietary calories. Um, so like that's the part that doesn't make sense. They could probably fix it by being like, well, they orbit around stars for a while after they eat things and recharge or do something. But there's currently no lore that explains how Tyranids can just eat the biomass from the surface of a planet, and then the biomass just makes them get bigger without really kind of with the limitation of their caloric intake. You can't just take a live creature, eat it, and then make a super creature out of the biomatter of that creature. There's a lot of energy that would come with making all of these Tyranids, and they'd need to get it back somehow other than just eating the stuff that they eat. And if they're hauling around all of that biomass, there'd be a lot of like unused biomass. Now I've rambled on for this for a while, and you see how it's not funny. So I think I actually wanted to make a joke about that in my longer video, which was Tyranids still don't make sense. Um, to just basically ramble on and be like, well, yeah, but talking about this in this long format isn't funny, except that I thought what the guys were saying were kind of funny. But for those of you who take it seriously, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's like a little bit lore accurate, but not really. Same thing with the golden age of humanity humans. It's not that deep. It's not meant to be a lore accurate thing. It's just a joke, and most people liked it. So that's it. I do think that 40K has um, a section of fans that they are very very particular about the lore, um, which is a little weird because 40K has some of the most inconsistent lore of any long running universe. Their lore is all over the place. I actually just did the quote from the Navigator, which is it's a quote from a novel. It's in the description. I forget what the name of the novel is, but the Navigator says that he sees the Emperor's face from Earth, but Earth has not been referred to as Earth for tens of thousands of years. It's referred to as Terra, but like that's not consistent in this story. So whatever. I think given how loose GW is with the lore, I think people get a little too bent out of shape when things that are not meant to be taken seriously are suddenly very closely analyzed and thoroughly vetted about what through the current lore. And whatever, like I think it's okay for people to be enthusiastic about it, but I think some people get way too bent out of shape about lore inaccuracies. But whatever, I just wanted to share some thoughts about it. People are going to do their hobbies however way they wish. I prefer to be fairly chill about stuff, but whatever. It's your hobby. You can do it the way you want. So yeah, I just wanted to share some thoughts. And for anybody who thought this kind of long, rambling, unscripted video that just expressed my thoughts, if you found it interesting, I do have things like this on my Patreon for the different levels of patron. Each level gets to see more of these kind of videos. So anyways, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. No Man out.